Hello everyone, this is Dave and welcome to Moonride, where we are channeling the man in the moon. He's going to give us some advice today on Kavanaugh's nomination. I want to start out, everyone, by saying today it's Wednesday, in Australia it's Tuesday. I have just been watching a bit of the Kavanaugh hearings, and I just want everybody to take this moment just to take a deep breath, maybe put your feet on the floor, and take a deep breath, bring it in, because I do think it's very important for us to be calm. We need to understand, as I've been shown many, many times, that America is going to be greater after these events, and I hate to use Donald Trump's words. We will be much better as a country when this has all been said and done. It's just a sort of important event in our lives. I don't believe, and I've been constantly told, we're not going to slip into some kind of dictatorship. Right? So I'll also say that I've been shown again and again that Kavanaugh will not be successful in his nomination. I have to tell you, as a person, I find that incredible. I just don't see how it won't happen, right? But that is what Spirit keeps telling me. So I'm going to go in again, see if I maybe misunderstood things, because sometimes I get the message or the picture and I don't quite know what it means, and I interpret it. Sometimes that interpretation just kind of falls out of my body. I don't really know how to explain it except to say that the words just sort of come out of my body. So let's just review Kavanaugh and see. I'd also like to know how it passes that he is not nominated, or sorry, is not successful in his nomination. All right, so let's check in here. Okay, one more time. Okay. All right. So, Spirit, what about Kavanaugh? Will he be successful in his nomination? Again, I'm getting a no. How? Okay, let's ask again. Will he be successful in his nomination? No, no, no. That's what I'm getting. No. How is it possible that he will not succeed in this nomination, since he's got the majority of people on his side? I'm getting like almost he keeps showing me this sort of even number, as if he's literally going like this, as if somehow these issues were not, it's not so clear that it's really not 50-50. He's saying there's, I believe he's saying that there's 50-50, both people. There might be some Republicans that are not so sure about him. Okay, Collins' face is coming up. Collins, the senator. What do you have to say to me, Ms. Collins? Susan Collins, that's right, Susan Collins. She has a conscience. Susan Collins is just saying, look, I can't put myself before my constituencies. I don't want to be responsible for back alley abortions. I don't ethically, morally, I can't do that. And it really is just an ethical choice for her. She says, I believe in being a Republican. I believe in a lot of the things, but I don't think this is right, and I'm not going to just do it just because that's what's supposed to happen. She's really wrestling with her conscience right now. And let's see. Yeah, and she's showing me a very bleak scene. She says that this is quite bleak. I can't support most of the things that this man does because they're against my ethics. And I'm being thrown into this position where I have to choose between my ethics and my job. And she's just saying, I honestly don't know what to do, but I'm getting persuaded that my ethics are greater than my job. I just think it's absolutely necessary that I support my people. She's just shaking her head. She's saying, I can't do it. All right, okay, so, but Spirit, there are other people involved. It's just, like, who is there? Somebody else I need to talk to? Okay, I am getting Murkowski. And she's saying no way, like absolutely no way. Like I don't really. I just there's no question for me. This man has no integrity. He has insulted me so many times. He's insulted my state. He's just a bad person, and she's got her arms crossed, and she's shaking her head, and she's just saying, no way, I'm not going to do it. And she is telling me, like, in a way, this is like my crowning moment. And this is the time that I go out there and say, I would rather not be a senator than be a traitor, than be in support of this guy. And it's not just the abortions issue for these ladies. It really is issues of ethics, issues of, whether it's right for a president to pick someone that's going to, get him off of his crimes. And she's just shaking her head. She's just like, no way, man, no way. I am too real for this. I'm not going to get political about this. I have just issues that I won't deal with it. All right, and, Spirit, what else? I mean, okay, we have 2 Republicans who are ladies. What else? Okay, I'm seeing a couple of Democrats coming up. I can't necessarily remember their names, but they're coming up and they're just saying, look, we're going to stop this. It said this is the moment for us too, where we have to act. It says, we've been playing politics a lot, and now we're starting to get, one thing that's good about this is that we, the Democrats, are starting to get our act together. We're starting to be active instead of passive. We're starting to, do things that aren't good for the people that give us money, but good for the world. And we have a duty, and we finally come to the plate. It's sort of like all the rules have been misused by the other party. Okay, fine, we're done. We're no longer following these rules. We're going all the way to do this. This is really, really, really important for us. Not just going into the election, but just personally, we've had it. No, I don't see where this comes from, but I don't even know if Orrin Hatch is still a senator, but his face is coming up. I just get that, and there are other Republicans that are coming up that are, fairly conservative. They're kind of moved. They're a bit. I think that the political events surrounding Trump may overwhelm them to even act against their own interests. That the behaviors of the president today specifically have been revealed, and they're so obnoxious that we cannot support a toady. We can't support a guy that, like, ethically we can't do it. I cannot do it personally. My own feelings about this are quite strong, but also I cannot continue to sort of be perceived as this evil Republican guy who's dispensed with all the rules. We're going to be in a minority soon, and if we start dispensing with all these rules, then pretty much the Democrats can come in and do whatever the hell they want. They won't ask us our opinions anymore. This is a Senate. We're supposed to be a unit that functions, and we are not functioning anymore. He's just seeing this, and I see a particular Republican. I don't know his name when I'm doing this work. I can't remember names very well. He's the guy that opened up the Kavanaugh hearing, and he's saying to me that he says this is really problematic. We don't quite have the votes, and he's like, I'm not even that disappointed that we don't have the votes. He's kind of glad that they don't have the votes because he's not really behind this guy. He knows how fraught it is. He knows how bad he's going to look if this guy's there, and he makes some decisive choice that will forever undermine the democracy. He's just shaking his head, and he's kind of like, would he just shut up? Would Trump just shut up for once, so I could get this work done? If Trump didn't tweet all the time, I'd be done by now. This guy would already be in power, but he can't stop himself. And his moral bankruptcy is so evident now. So, okay, I'm going to ask her, are you concerned that the Democrats, once they do get in power, would remove him? He's absolutely concerned about that. He says, look, if we don't follow this process the way that we're supposed to, when Democrats get into power, they don't have to follow the process the way they're supposed to, and they can say this was an illegal appointment, we were not consulted properly, we were not given the correct information, we were deceived, and they could potentially remove him. That's another constitutional crisis that I will have to face, and I'll have to face my constituents because I didn't follow the rules. It's interesting too because he's kind of showing me there's a high bar and a low bar, and so that there are all these people that are more followers and they just believe anything that they are told, but there's another level of people who are smart and they understand that this is politics and how it works, and they understand and they believe what's really going on. They're looking at me and they're saying, look, we know that the president is guilty of these crimes, and we're going to spend the next 20, 30 years of our lives digesting those crimes, and we don't want to be perceived as the ones who facilitated it. It's going to be bad enough as it is once we lose this election. That once they do lose that election, it's going to be 30 years of our own actions being investigated if we do something illegal or wrong. Okay, Spirit, can you tell me any other reason why? I mean, this seems so far-fetched that he wouldn't get nominated, or wouldn't win this nomination. Okay, he's showing me some papers, and one of them has a couple of pictures on it, and one of them, there's a picture of Kavanaugh on it, and there's something with some papers. Where do these papers come from? Well, some of this information is apparently known by the Republicans. They have seen it and they know what it says. And they know that this is one thing that may well be disqualifying to him. So again, I'm seeing Senator Collins. And she's kind of having, again, she's wrestling with her conscience. And she's considering, hey, that the other side hasn't necessarily seen these papers. They don't know what he said. And she's contemplating releasing it to them so that they can have a better argument. Yeah, and she's really conflicted. She's like, wow, this goes against everything, principally that I should be standing for. But at the same time, it's also on principle that I think that we deserve a fair hearing here. She's actually looking for a fair hearing. And I have to give this woman, Senator Collins, a good deal of credit. As with Murkowski, both of them are saying, look, we want a fair nomination. We don't want a nomination that's not fair, period. I don't care if it's Republican or Democrat. We need justice in our society. And there are a whole bevy of Republicans that sort of feel the same way. They know where their political bread is buttered, but at the same time, they also know that this is wrong and that it shouldn't go on this way. And they're, not going to work against it, but they're certainly not gung-ho about Kavanaugh's nomination. And they were a little bit revolted by Kavanaugh when he shows up and he talks about his wife and his family and aren't I a nice little league guy and I volunteer and isn't that nice, and he's talking about his wife and his mom and his dad and all that stuff. They're just a little bit like, come on, man, stop playing me like that. You think I'm stupid that I haven't heard the I'm a good dad, therefore I should be judged before. I mean, haven't you got anything more to offer than that? That's cloying. It's just cloying to them. They're just a little bit like, ugh. And it's almost like a feeling of just disappointment and sort of eye rolling, like, oh man, where'd you pick this guy? What a pretty boy you've chosen for this job. You've just chosen somebody who looks good and has a good-looking wife and a good-looking set of daughters, and therefore you're going to push that guy onto us. What about rule of law and real meaning of our culture? They just don't really believe it. Even the Republicans don't really believe that he should be there. They don't believe that he's relevant. They don't believe that he knows what he's doing. They don't believe in him as a person. They don't believe that the president is nominating a person that's good for that job. They believe there is one and only one reason why he's there, and it's a political reason, and they have this much of integrity left that they won't go there. And they're shaking their heads. They're actually saying, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to support him. Are those Republicans that I'm seeing? Let's ask one more time. Is Kavanaugh going to succeed in his nomination? No. I'm getting a no, no, no. Any other reasons why he will not succeed? I'm getting the people. Most people don't want Kavanaugh. The average person does not want those kind of values represented in our Supreme Court. The average person wants people to have choices. They obviously want people to be treated fairly and equally. The average person in America will not support a Kavanaugh court. They will reject it, and they will spend a good deal of their lives fighting against it, and that is not good for a Republican, right? Any Republican who will be deemed to be, patsy for Trump. And they're looking at me and they're saying, we don't want that. That's not practically or psychically good for any of us that were there. So, I think Spirit is just showing me as he's doing this that the average person won't accept this, and that still matters. There is still a democracy, and that will ultimately prevail. Anything else we need to know about this? It's okay. He's just telling me that I'm right. He's telling me that I'm interpreting this right. So on that note, thanks for watching.